everyone. I'm Jordan Rolling, writer, producer, and cultural commentator, coming to you live from CultureCon at home. Some of you may know me as the host of Billboard News. Join me now as I sit down with Chlöe and Halle to discuss their journeys from a duo act to solo career stars and how they plan to use their creative platforms to continue to inspire a young generation of fans and peers alike. Sisters, R&B duo, actors, and activists Halle Bailey and Chlöe Bailey were catapulted to fame with a cosign from none other than Queen Bee herself. And since joining Beyonce's label Parkwood Entertainment, they've been nominated for 5 Grammy Awards, have starred in Grownish, and are now settling into the next chapter of their own respective careers. Chlöe, Halle, what's up?
Hi.
How are you guys doing? I know, like, for Chlöe, you're in LA, Halle, you're in UK, right?
Yeah, in London.
Wow. I mean, thank you for joining us. I know it's probably late there, but we're happy to have you, and let's just dive right in. First of all, I know I mentioned this, 5 Grammy nominations. How does it feel being an artist with those nominations at such a young age?
Well, it feels amazing. First, hi, you look really pretty, both of you do. Hi, sis. It feels really amazing. I kind of pinch myself every time I think about it. I can't wait to actually go home with one day. Hal and I are coming for it. But yeah, so we're just grateful because we get to make music and do what we love. And, you know, we don't really base our self-worth or validation on awards, but it is pretty nice sometimes when you work really hard on music and the project and really seeing it pay off.
Your progression is undeniable. Beyonce once gave you the advice to let the world catch up to you, right? And to not slow down. Do you think the world has caught up, or are you guys full speed ahead?
We do live in a world now where open artistry and the integrity of music is accepted and acceptable. So I feel really honored and grateful to kind of have an audience that really appreciates our music for what it is, knowing that it's a fusion of all these different genres and not just one specific thing and one specific look every time, you know? So I do really feel like people have begun to open their eyes. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, you guys are constantly evolving and it shows. And I think your fan base is here for it because we love to see, you guys are very dynamic and we love to see all those different sides of you. I have to ask, as 2 women, 2 sisters, you guys became famous as a duo. What has it been like to kind of pivot and focus on your solo careers?
For me personally, I am the little sister out of Chlöe and I, and I'm the baby of the girls in the family as well. So I do feel kind of this, I just miss my sister so much. Like even being apart, like, because we've been apart for what, 4 or 5 months now?
Since January.
Yes, even while being apart, I found that it's like I'm missing my arm, you know? But having to realize that I'm going through this to grow, as well as, you know, my sister is always there and she's always supportive of me. So it's looking at it with that perspective. I know that she's always there and she's never going anywhere and we always will be together. So that always makes me feel better. But yeah, it's been different being in separate locations. I just miss her so much.
I miss you more.
Oh, I love this interaction. I have 2 sisters, so I'm like living for you guys right now. I'm from Utah and they're back home. So I rarely see them too, so I feel you.
Yeah.
So speaking more about your guys' careers, solo and together, what do you guys really envision for the future?
Well, what I want for us to be happy and just kind of create things and be a part of projects that make us happy, and whatever involves that, you know, I hope that's what we do. I mean, yeah, just more laughter, love, and creativity, and hopefully just a bunch of inspiration that flows through us constantly.
So is that what you would say is how you choose what projects you work on? Is you literally just lead with your heart and like what calls to you?
Absolutely. I feel like it has to make us happy. It has to make our hearts sing because, you know, music and entertaining and whichever falls under that umbrella that's what makes our heart soar, and it's very therapeutic for us. So we have to be content with what we're doing in order for us to put our all in it. So as long as there's some sort of connection emotionally, physically, whatever, that's where we'll be drawn to.
Halle, I have to ask you, obviously you're in the UK and you're filming The Little Mermaid, which is incredible. Like, we all want a Black Ariel. Thank you. What has been the most rewarding part so far for you?
I feel like the most rewarding part of this whole filming process so far is realizing kind of the strength that I have within, and realizing that I am growing. That has been the most rewarding, because it's hard work. You know, we're working most of the weekends as well. So it's like, it's no joke out here. And on top of that, being away from my other half, my sister, it definitely makes it much more difficult. So, but I feel like I'm proud of my perseverance and my strength so far, because it's been like a long time now. So I feel really grateful for that. I think that's what I'm like, wow, okay, you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, give yourself kudos, because it's not easy, like you said, to be away from family and to be on your own and accomplishing something so monumental. So kudos to you. I want to talk more about you guys being sisters, because obviously you're sisters before you guys are musical collaborators and partners. How do you guys set boundaries between your business and your personal relationship?
Wow, how do we, Halle? I don't really know how to answer that. I think because we're constantly always together, like right now is the longest time we've ever been apart. And what we do for our career and for our business really just makes us genuinely happy. So us being two best friends doing something we both love, we often forget that it's work. So because we forget that it's work, we don't feel we have to set boundaries, because it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like we're doing something that brings us so much joy. So I don't really know. I think whatever we're doing, it's working, you know. So I don't know.
I mean, with your relationship, it's not like you guys are friends in a group. You're literally sisters. So when you guys get like situations where maybe you disagree on a creative aspect or etc., do you guys approach that as like sisters, or is it more of like a business approach?
It's like sisters, you know. What I appreciate about us, especially when we create music together, is that because we know each other so well, we can be straight up and honest, be like, girl, that is terrible, I don't like that. And we'll be like, oh, okay, and then we'll move on and they'll make it better. And, you know, I personally feel like I learned so much from just watching my sister Chlöe and hearing all the things that she's working on. It just makes my heart pitter patter. So I just feel inspired just working with her in general. And her ideas are off the rocker, off the top, amazing. So most of the time we just gel. And if we don't, we walk away and we're like, okay, and then we come back to it later.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, Halle is my favorite person ever to collaborate with, because we can be so honest with each other, and you know, she's so talented on top of it. And I think the beautiful thing about us is that we are both really great together, but we're also strong on our own as well. So whatever we're bringing to the table, it's not lacking. It's not like one has more strength than the other is the weak. No, it's like both equal. So it has such a really good like synergy. And I think what we bring to the table is both equally important. And yeah, I just really love creating with Halle.
I love what you said, like you're strong together, but you're strong on your own. I have to ask, because we all noticed, what prompted you guys to get the separate Instagram accounts?
Tea time, because we're apart.
Okay.
So we've been apart for months and I can't believe it. And because I'm shooting Grownish right now, it's been so hard trying to get out there because we're not allowed to travel because it's COVID time. So my heart aches every time I think about Halle, and I'm like, I keep counting down the days. But we originally started the idea of the own Instagram accounts because we would be apart and there's not really much content we can do together being apart for like 7-8 months. So, you know, we were like, ooh, let's do tea time. And now we're realizing the time zones are crazy for tea time. It's just a mess, but oh.
We appreciate them though. We appreciate the effort and taking the time. Always. I really want to talk about womanhood with you guys. I'm just a smidge older. And one thing that I really admire about both of you is how refined you are for your age and how you both step forward unapologetically, even on Instagram, especially. I love seeing your guys' content. But, in your careers, what do you guys think are some of the biggest challenges that you face because you are female in the industry?
As a female in this industry, as a young Black female in this industry, there is a lot of underestimation that goes on, especially in the music industry, and I'm learning as well in the acting industry. So it's definitely something that you just have to take with a grain of salt and keep your head up and your shoulders back and walk the walk and talk the talk, because you can't do it. And, I definitely think that's one of the most beautiful things about us as women, is because we can be so soft and sensitive, but also so strong and know what we want and so powerful. There's so many different layers to us, and that's what makes us powerful women. So I definitely would say that's the main thing that Chlöe and I have faced in this industry since we were very, very young. But our favorite part is always, proving people wrong and watching the reaction from that. That always makes us so happy. So when my sister goes in the studio, and she's an amazing producer, she produces all of our music. And sometimes when we would be in sessions with like these bigger producers who know everything, and she would come in there and she'd play like her amazing tracks, and they'd just be blown. That's always like my favorite part to watch. But yeah, it's definitely like, because we're small and young, people sometimes think, oh, you're just gonna give that, but no, we have so much more. So I would say that.
Wow, I love that testimony. That's beautiful, because I know Chlöe be making them beats. I know it.
And Halle be playing that guitar.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love about both of you. You guys are really musicians. You're true musicians, and it shows in your music and in your artistry.
Thank you.
I want to ask, since you guys started to where you are now, have you noticed any significant changes or differences in the presence of women in Hollywood? And if so, what have they been? I mean, I noticed, for example, being at Billboard, the rise and the dominance of women in the past year or so in R&B and hip hop. The women are ruling, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I really just have to think that it's just been the platform that we're now given, because, women have been badass forever. We have been so strong and independent and as creative as the world seems to highlight now, more than we've ever been in the past as well. So I think it's really just the recognition and the platform that's different. And I'm just really proud of women who really pushed those boundaries and kind of broke through those barriers. So it's like, you're going to pay attention to me, whether you like it or not. So because of those women, we are here today. And I'm just like Beyonce, Tina Turner, I just watched her documentary on HBO. I cried. Like, we would not be here if she did not do what the heck she did. Nina Simone as well. Halle loves Billie Holiday. I've watched it how Anja killed it.
Good?
Yes. It's just all women of all types and all musical genres, even in acting and everything. We would not be here without them. And I'm just happy that the world's kind of recognizing it now, even though we'd still do the same with or without it.
I think this goes without saying. My brother always says, I could care less about your level of success. Show me your level of service, right? And I really do think that we're here to leave a mark, to make an impact, whether it's sharing your time or your gifts. And I really want to ask you guys about that. What are some of the ways that you use your platform as young activists to create change?
Yes, well, I personally think, for me, all I can do is use what I've been given. Use my voice in many different ways, whether it's singing or writing or speaking. There's so many different ways to speak up for what we believe in. And I truly feel like, being a Black woman, there's so much to show. There's so much to do and prove. People, they always have a certain image of what you should be. But I just love breaking out of that and showing the flower that we truly can be. So For me, I definitely say I just use what I'm given, and I'm grateful for the platform that we've been given, and the fact that we do kind of now have this speaker to use, and the fact that people will listen, whether it's through music. I mean, mainly, I think music is the way to really penetrate people. For me, I find that that's the most effective in lyrics and melodies, because it's so entrancing. So I would say that is for me.
I feel like kids are the future generation, and if we don't try to honor them and nurture them and take care of them, where will we be in the next few years? So anything with kids melts our heart. We always give back, because I feel like we would not be here unless someone kind of gave us a helping hand. And it's like, in any way you can pay it forward, it'll always come back. But that shouldn't be why you do it. But I feel like everyone should give back, just because it really makes you feel good, and it's a feeling that you can never replace. And yeah, so
we're obviously in the midst of some really challenging times, and I think daily we're all navigating how to balance everything, right? Mental health, career, relationships. What advice would you give to young people who kind of feel helpless right now and are looking for ways that they can make a difference or feel empowered?
Oh, as I'm going to be answering this, I'm telling it to myself as well, because you're completely right. I think growing up Black in America right now, being a part of this generation, you're kind of looking around like, what do we do? Is this ever going to change? It's like the moment one time you think we're making a few steps forward, it's like something reminds you that no. But it's like you kind of have to take that helpless feeling and kind of turn it into positivity. And it's okay to feel helpless sometimes, but as long as we got each other's backs and we lift each other up. And I don't know what I would do without my sisters and my brother, and just being able to look to my right and to my left and to know that I have their support and love. And it reminds me that I'm a special human being, despite what the world and despite what America tells us. As long as we keep it going. And I think for me, the way I'm kind of transferring my sadness and turning it into something else is through music and through using our platform, with Sis and I. And it's like, it's not really a trend at all, because it's who we've been our entire lives. It just seems that now people are paying more attention and are opening their eyes more to it. And I feel like it hasn't gotten worse. It's always been bad. I think now with social media and with cameras, people are seeing what has always been hidden behind the door. So, I hope with stuff coming to light, we'll really, truly be able to make change and not just say it momentarily. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your time and energy with us. You guys, this has been Chlöe and Halle at 2021 CultureCon. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks.
We have one of your loyal stands here by the name of Michael Schuyler. He's a writer, and he has a question for you guys. So I'm gonna have him jump on and ask you. He can't wait. This is gonna make his day.
Oh.
Hey, Michael.
Hi.
Hi, OMG. How are you?
We're great. I love your locks.
Yeah, I love y'all's too. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Oh, thank you.
So you all's music is super transportive. The melodies, the lyrics, it's all given celestial. So I was yes. So I want to know, from any project, Ungodly Hour, The Kids Are All Right, The Two of Us, Sugar Symphony, which record turned the studio into like a straight jam session? Like y'all recorded it and the whole studio just blew up.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
There's a lot of songs.
Two specific ones came to mind, even though they weren't from Ungodly Hour. The first one that came to mind was Drop.
Yes, of course.
Because I specifically remember the feeling. Sis and I, we were in our living room of our first home that we lived in LA. And I had the 808s on my MIDI keyboard going, and Halle had her electric guitar plugged into the amp at the same time. And we literally were just jamming out the whole time together. Yeah. And then we decided to recorded in Logic. And then another one that I specifically remember that was really fun to do the production on was Galaxy. That came together in like 5 minutes. I had the best time doing that. So those were the top two that came in my head.
Yeah, and especially on drop, you can feel it. Every time you listen it, you could just feel the so I love that.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So good chatting with y'all.
Nice to chat with you, Michael.
For sure.
Where are you located?
Brooklyn, New York.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes. I'm from Portland, Oregon. So West.
Dope.
Indeed, yes, indeed.
Really cool.
Yes.
Well, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys as well. Enjoy the rest of y'all day.
Thank you. Sending you love.
Yes. Mwah, mwah.